Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who... I don't think... Oh, Bacchus, how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you. Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it. Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. But don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably. All right, see you around. Salve.
Fresh meat, huh? Malleolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment, it being election day. The name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus, you go through me. Too bad. He's busy. Unless... No. You don't look like you could afford it. I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see him, I'll need something valuable in return. What's in Coolio Mio? Just make it good. Dunno. Something good. Just make it good. Whatever. Hey! You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you? Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh. Why do I have to do everything? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the cisterns are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? And hunched over him was something that made my blood a creature. Like the corpse of a man who'd been flooded. What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there. Good idea. What now? Hey, Horatius, how's it feel knowing your man's doomed to lose the election today?
If you're trying to goad me into an argument, it won't work. I'm a stoic, remember?
Whatever are you wearing? Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want? Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone. I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies? It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it. You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest, and my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Scintilla. Why? Because I'm on this couch and not pacing about the villa, wasting energy? I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance. Ugh, you're awful. Get out of my villa and never speak to me again. Do I need to ask Horatius to escort you out of here? Get out, you horrid barbarian!
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? A curious name, to match a curious accent. But I digress. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago. Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin? Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away. An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes, or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries. I'm glad you agree. The key things to remember are that we have laws forbidding treason and blasphemy, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson and so on. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you. You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you? "2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us, of this city?" I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it. All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person. I don't suppose you saw any sign of... I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you? Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for. Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remember. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though. Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. Ah, so you know about that already. It's a devastating loss. That was over 3 weeks ago, and whatever happened to her, it didn't break the golden rule. So I don't think... Still, if you happen to find her and... Well, all right. There are those... Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. I would be looking very carefully at them. Ah, good. So, wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it will win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right. If you're snooping around in my possessions, you're wasting your time.
Ugh, this place has become a thoroughfare.
On your best behavior, I trust? What is it, citizen? Well, as I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the prep by threatening to execute 1 in 10 men. The idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your only chance of saving yourself is... It's brutal, of course. A war crime. Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said, in time. Seems that way. If you like. All right.
Isn't the great temple majestic? What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culus cumulatus... It's too late. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of Silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." So all I could do is come back here, and now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that Silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here. I don't care how you get it, but you have to... I swear to the gods below, not... Well, come back if you get...
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia. Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii. That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work... Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a vid... She claimed the statue was a whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and... But I digress. Do you want this silphium or not? Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule, and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Is that what you want? Do you think I don't know a bluff when I see one? Nice try. Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your... Very well. Another time. Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city.
Ah, a fellow traveler. Greetings. I'm Georgius. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your leather boots in place of sandals? I have traveled, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Is this a riddle, or perhaps we will have much time here? Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other... So yes, we know this rule. If we are to survive, I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus. Avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough, for even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never... Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone. Ah, the voice of experience. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they? I hope that our paths... This part of my shop is off limits, even for you, my sartorial friend.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. You arrived on a sad day, friend. What with Julia's death?
Greetings and salutations.
Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company. Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagos, you expect a bit of hostility. But I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping, so I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what but that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't. Needless to say, since I'm now living, my openness didn't go down. Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, or at least I thought that was the case. It's not just graffiti. I have quite... The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of... Strange bunch. They insist there's only one God, and that he considers my nature as... If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of... All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret... What? Really? I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. Come back and let me...
Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule. Are you serious? Are you going to help or not? I have to hide. Hear what? What? We don't have time for this. I have to go. Ugh. The shrine is collapsing.
Fabia, no! Oh gods, she's dead! Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her! Oh Fabia, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl! I can't believe she is dead. Fabia, I mean. She walked into... The gods are cruel and unjust. She was like a daughter to me.
Stop right there.
I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known... I'm not sure I believe that. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, is that understood? Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people? And what is this? Oh, how very welcoming of you. You want me to let my guard down, is that it? You're not going to get your... I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the... Oh, don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus. Always sneaking off to your secret. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until... You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to... So you admit you're not allowed to leave. Threatening me is not going to help you. But that sounds an awful lot. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take... a distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough? You lot are practicing human... Yes, because it's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrinate, what baffles me. However, you still... Gold? I don't... The only thing I care about is carrying... I have spent many exhausting months. At times, I was So, you see, I know he's here. So, for the last time, are you... Then, do you have any last words? Well, I'd say that's rather convenient, since I was planning to kill you all anyway.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.